Now that we have gone through all these definitions that exist in the free releases, and now that we have defined earth and expansion and infinity, I would like to go back again maybe and really do it again from even the beginning of the form, and maybe spend a few seconds in each connection. Because in unity in motion, since we always move constantly and we touch the connection just for a second and then the path of balance continue, sometimes it's difficult to see where the connection is and where the connection becomes the continuation of the path of balance. So I would like to do again from the beginning perhaps, and stop in each connection so you can see it. And then I think it will be helpful because you will see, as I said, where is the connection arriving, becoming defined, and when is the connection becomes the continuation of the path. Yeah. So 0 point, as you know, is always the definition of the metrics. Then the first definition, when you gather the spiral or gather the wave, is foundation. And foundation is an inner arc. And foundation is the center of the pelvis and the pelvic floor. Then that is the moment from which the outflowing wave becomes crown. And crown, as you know, is the point that allows me to extend through my arms at the same time that allow me to extend through the crown. That is the reason it's called crown. So the above and below become one corresponding motion. Yeah? And remember that crown isn't here, even though sometimes when I practice I ended up in crown being this high. Remember that it's the last point where crown becomes earth. Yeah? So that's in the first movement, those are definitions that we touch. In the second movement, we touch the definition of central crown. Central heart, actually, yes, central heart. It's called central heart because it's the center of the heart, center of the chest, and the solar plexus. And this definition is perfect. It creates the form of the heart, you see, right here. And it's a good place. It's a point, it's a moment in the movement from which the descending, ascending goes to foundation. And it's a moment of arrival here when we go up from foundation. Yeah, that's the second movement. We define central heart. And the third movement, after we define foundation and ascending through center, we arrive to suspend the diamond. Suspend the diamond is a very important movement, all of them, but because it releases the throat. And it's the right and the left of my arms passing through the diamond, connecting the heart and the throat. And this is the point of arrival of descending, ascending to foundation again before we complete in crown. The fourth definition is it has the delicate heart because you ascend through center, and it's called central crown. Central crown is very important because it allows from the outer arc, and it's the center of the head and the crown. So my arms in the diamond assist the whole of the spine, the whole of the vertebra, to be able to extend from within. So remember that the diamond is not here, you see, or here is the centralization of the release of your head. So this is a good place to spend time in it. And then the fifth definition is the definition of moving heart. It's an inner arc a little bit, it's the connection of your heart. Look where my elbows are a little bit, are quite back, you see, are not here, they're quite a little bit back in me. Beautiful. This is important because it's the definition from which you then open through yourself to return back. Beautiful. So it's important because moving heart inside of you is like a spiral that goes to the pelvic floor and between my legs and my feet. So it's not just on top of me, it's inside of me. It's the place from which my arms are always moving. It's the place that I'm discovering inside, the movement of my heart that correspond to my arms. So that's the reason we call it moving heart, because it is easy to begin to sense inside of you. So moving heart is a wonderful definition. Sometimes it's a good time to spend time here, because you begin to find out, is my arms connected into a diamond? Am I creating weight within me? Am I extending it? You know? And then when I return again, this place is important. And now from here, the definition of self is very, 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 very important right here, because it's the center of your solar plexus, and it's the center of space, as you know, and it's the arms, the diamond of your arms assist you to experience the vertical extension of your being. This is a very good definition to spend time with it. Remember that in here, I'm going to disconnect it a little bit for you to see, okay? It's good sometimes, because I'm going to go a little bit too much back. You see, I broke it. So right here is the connection, right there. And then if I go too much forward, you see my shoulders are going to start pressing. So it's the place that my skeleton becomes aided by the gesture and the movement to experience its three-dimensionality and its expansion. That's a self. Yeah? And then 0 point, which is the last of the movement, is right into, again, the place that we started. That was important. Now, after that, as we define the mandala, we are discovering through the delicate heart and infinity's gate, infinity. And infinity is a good place also to spend time with it. It's the place that your chest is open, your arms are toward the diagonal. And it's good for you to know that your infinity is the definition of transversal as well. You see my arm and this my left leg is connected to my left leg, my left arm connected to my right leg. And this is important. Look, I have an outer arc. It's an outer arc extended forwardly into infinity, well, like the name says. Infinity. This is a good connection. Then, when you're descending and you discover expansion, expansion is the center of your heart, and it's a vertical extension. Infinity is an outer arc. Expansion is a vertical extension, which is right here. This is a good place to spend time, finding your legs, the floor, and beginning to find the looseness inside of you. Sometimes it's good for, if you're feeling that the energy start getting too compact by your definition, just shake everything and then go back again and then touch expansion and spend time in it. And begin to find that you pass through, you divide in unity the two halves of your heart, and that's where you are in it. And then when you descend into expansion, you define it and you find, again, crown. Crown is important because when the crown descends from the mandala, it's called mandala crown. And in mandala crown, you are a little bit in an inner arc. It's not the crown that you are in the first movement, that you are all the way on top of your head. So it's good for you to know the difference. What is the crown that it goes all the way to the top of the head as I extend through my arms, and the crown in which I have a breadth of inner arc, in which my range of vision is facing in this direction, and I am in the last point before crown becomes weight upon my shoulders. It's the point of suspension. Yeah? From the diagonal, you can see it's very good to see it from the diagonal a little bit, because if you're thinking about that, that's the right and the left side of my hip, you see the right and the left will be right here. And look where my arms are going, quite forward from it. Because if my arm were to be like a tunnel, inside of my arms, at the center of my arms, you will see the shoulder joint. And from the shoulder joint, you will see the center of my heart. And from the center of my heart, you will see the other arm. So you will have two pathways through the third fingers, connecting through the center of the heart and connecting me vertically. Yeah? And then if you want to create weight, it's good for you sometimes. Okay, what happened now? You can see that you're breaking the vertical. So crown is good to begin to discover, especially mandala crown, the difference between mandala crown and the difference between crown as it corresponds to the top of the head. Yeah? It's very important. Wonderful. Then end the motions that you have, continue with it. Suspended balance is a very important movement. Suspended balance, the descending spring, spending time in that connection, releasing the neck, finding the arms, just to feel loose inside of the definition. So you may arrive in the definition all of a sudden and you may say, okay, my shoulders are heavy or something. Then open them up and find the way inside of the connection to release and to expand, and then initiate the movement returning from there. So it's a discovery. It's like the connections are points in space that allow to really find the whole movement. Without the connections, everything will look so fluid that you will never see anything. You will just see movement that never stops. But the connections allow to define the boundaries of balance. Like this is infinity, this is expansion, this is crown. Remember, this is a horizon. Remember, we haven't defined horizon yet, so I don't want to confuse you. No horizon. Yeah, now we're going into, in the chair we have done it. Yeah, wonderful. So we're going to do it again in the continuation now. But anyway, I hope this is helping you, because it's important that you can practice even in the chair those connections. The more that you embody the connection, the more that you will be able to find the path of balance, because the connection represents all the different points from which the path of balance becomes one continual fluid movement. Yeah? Wonderful.